Share with you, for those of you that don't know, today is National Cerebral Palsy Awareness Day. As a person with cerebral palsy, I have experienced many times in my life where I've felt overlooked, whether intentionally or on accident, or someone not being able to know my ability just by looking at me. For example, I'll share a little story. A couple weeks ago, I was at an appointment. My uncle had dropped me off, and I was at the window, and he was at the window, the reception window, and I was at one side. I was signing myself in, and then I was sitting right beside him in my wheelchair, and the lady on his side was asking him, she when he said he was gonna be dropping me off, she looks like, you're gonna be dropping her off, and my uncle goes, she's 40 years. I said, when I heard her speaking, I said, excuse me, I'm able to speak for myself. I spoke up and said that because she thought that I couldn't even speak for myself because she didn't even acknowledge me. And as a person with a disability, you don't want to feel, or anyone, whether you have a disability or not, you don't want to feel like you're being overlooked, or you're looked down upon. And I would just say, for those of you who may not have dealt with someone with a disability, or you might not have been exposed to this type of situation, I would just suggest, if you see somebody with someone that has a disability, don't just assume that the person that they're with is their spokesperson. Give the person that is in front of you that is disabled, whether you can see the disability or not, the chance to speak. And then if you notice that the person is nonverbal, then you go to the person that is with them to have them speak for them. Don't just assume that they cannot speak for themselves or they're not intelligent, because that is the wrong way to handle that situation. I'm just bringing this to awareness because actually I felt like, wow, she didn't even acknowledge me, and I was like, that's not right. So I was just sharing this story because I know that I am not the only one that has dealt with this, but for those of you that may not, like I said before, may not have dealt with somebody that is disabled, if you know that they can speak and they can verbalize and they are capable intelligently being able to make communications for themselves, or being able to represent themselves, give them the chance. Don't just give don't just just speak for them, because that may make the person feel like, wow, like they're just ignoring me, or they don't even acknowledge that I'm here. And that's how I felt at the time. And then also I wanted to share too that as a person with cerebral palsy has different variations. It has very different types. My type is spastic dysplasia, where it affects my muscle tone and walking ability. I have to use crutches and a wheelchair to get around, but that doesn't stop me from going where I want to go, doing what I want to do. And I would just say, if you know somebody that has cerebral palsy and that you may not have spoken to them or may not have taken the time to get to know them. Stop what you're doing, give them a few minutes of your time, and they might share their story with you, because what they may be going through, you might not never had experienced it, but it could help you as the person that doesn't have a disability to see their